Evet, yeni günden herkese merhabalar. Bugün Amsterdam'a gidiyoruz. NDSM diye bir yer var. Oraya gelip oradan aracı çekip buradan gemiyle karşı Amsterdam'a geçiyoruz. Ücretsiz. Şimdi sahibi izleyin. Sallanıyor. İnsanlar bekliyor. İnenler iniyorlar ve ardından herkes pikniğe yakın giriyorlar. Çok fena saydım. Gördüğünüz gibi. Saygı şey. Hareket etti. Ücretsiz bir hizmet. Sabaha kadar devam ediyor. Böyle cana yakınlar. Çok yönlü bir kepçe. Ve bisiklet çok yoğun arkadaşlar. Her yer bisiklet. Sentral istasyonuna indikten sonra tünel tarafından geçmeniz gerekiyor. Diğer taraf kartlı olduğundan dolayı geçemiyorsunuz. Buranın vatandaşı olmak gerekiyor. Ya da bir kart satın almak gerekiyor. Buradan yürüyüp karşıya geçtikten sonra da Amsterdam dünyasına açılıyorsunuz. Amsterdam çok güzel bir yer. Burası da Amsterdam Central istasyonu. Şehir merkezi istasyonu. Tramvay durakları falan. Buradan gemiye binip tur yapacağız.
Dat nemen ze hier mee, dat is met...
Böyle cana yakınlar. Grev var. Grevleri bile mutlu yani. Evet, burası da. Evet, buradan Amsterdam kanal turu için bilet alıyoruz.
Yes. Yeah, he's gonna pay for you, huh?
Ne diyor? Pay para.
No, I'm joking.
Yo.
He's gonna pay for everyone. But then you get...
He.
Yeah, he.
Pardon, he. Oh.
He's happy.
We are brothers.
Oh.
Yes, brothers.
I know what you mean.
Big brothers.
He's a big brother.
Yes.
Also my brother, he never let me pay.
Benim abim hiç ödemez diyor.
Guys, have fun.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Çok güzel oldu. Bakalım. İnternette mi? Wi-Fi.
So ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board by Stroma. We're going to make a tour around the city of Amsterdam. It's going to take about 1 hour, then we'll return here at the central station. In the meantime, as we're cruising through the canals of Amsterdam, you can listen to a story about Amsterdam in English over the speakers. If you want other languages, scan the QR code on the side of the table, number 1, number 2, then you're connected with the computer of the boat and you can choose actually other languages. In the back of the boat is a teeny tiny toilet that you can use. Please use it properly. Maybe there's someone coming after you who also want to use it, so keep it clean. For the rest, if sitting at the opening windows, keep your hands, heads, children inside the boat, don't stick them outside. The bridges are low and narrow. You don't want to lose any family members or body parts, so keep your hands inside the boat. For the rest, I wish you a nice tour around the city of Amsterdam, and it's not allowed to smoke or to vape in the boat.
Just think, in a population of only 800,000 people, you can meet 170 different nationalities.
This area's rich history adds a sparkle that's never far below the surface. During the 17th century, Amsterdam shone especially bright, like gold. This golden age was an extraordinary time. Politics, art, and business all reached new levels of sophistication. Dutch shipbuilders revolutionized sailing. Amsterdam boasted a thriving stock exchange, and painters like Rembrandt and Vermeer produced remarkable art.
There are no straight lines in Amsterdam's city center, but instead concentric canals lined and crisscrossed by streets, some centuries old. Amsterdam has almost 100 kilometers or 60 miles of canals, even more than Venice.
The city grew up around Dam Square, where the Amstel River was dammed in the 13th century.
giving Amsterdam its name. In Old Dutch, it means dam built across the Amstel.
Over time, land was reclaimed from the sea, ramparts were raised, and canals were dug as part of an ever-evolving cityscape.
Sepsiz. Her şey.
The building with flags atop it is the former Kekvaart House, or shipping house. A group of shipping companies ran their businesses from here. This early 20th century building is considered to be the first true example of the Amsterdam school style of architecture. The front of the building is impressively adorned with statues of Neptune, his wife, and 4 figures that represent the points of the compass. The building is decorated inside and out with all kinds of nautical symbols, anchors, ships, and famous Dutch mariners. It's now a 5-star luxury hotel.
Okay.
Mekan mı? Çin mekanı. Burada konser salonu herhalde.
The golden age of the 17th century was a stellar time for Amsterdam. From politics and the economy to arts and science, everything flourished. And the city was now the most important trade center in Europe. There are many reasons for Amsterdam's astounding success. It had the largest and most progressive shipbuilding industry in Europe. Dutch traders sailed farther than anyone else to newly discovered lands in the Far East and to North and South America. They organized into companies like the Dutch East Indian Company and the Dutch West Indian Company. And the profits from trading staples like grain and exotics such as spices, porcelain, precious stones, and textiles were enormous.
Amsterdam konservatuarı. Tunga mı? Timci. Alper Tunga öldü mü? Kızsız hocam kaldı mı? Onu bilir mi? Neydi o? Bir şey destanı. Tatlı bile. Puede ser. Daha aralara bir yapacak haberimiz lazım. Şimdi merkezi yerden biraz daha 1 saat sürecek. Böyle semtlere doğru gireceğiz herhalde. Haberimiz olsun. Bizim yerimiz iyi.
Una casa con pinta de barco, ¿no?
Sí, por la piscina por fuera, pero tiene un
We're now traveling along what was once the outer defense wall of the city. The original city boundary was to the right. To the left, salt marsh, and the North Sea. The red brick tower coming up ahead of us is the medieval Montalbanstoren, an ideal lookout for sighting potential invaders. It was built to protect the city's shipyards, wharves, and warehouses from attack. From here, Dutch soldiers armed with longbows and crossbows and early firearms called arquebuses kept watch over the wide expanses below.
The tower's white spire and clocks were added a century later. They were designed by Hendrik de Keyser, an architect whose work can be seen around Amsterdam, and who we're certain to hear more about on this cruise. The clocks couldn't keep time, and the tower's bells rang out randomly, so locals gave it the nickname Silly Jack.
Not long after the spire and clocks were added, the tower began to list to one side. With some effort, it was pulled to right. You might be wondering why so many buildings in the city tip to one side or the other. The ground in Amsterdam, a mix of peat, sand, and soil, is very soft. Because of this, buildings were generally designed to be as light as possible. None were very tall, and they often had lots of windows. For stability, they were built on a bed of wooden piles driven as deep as 15 meters, that's 45 feet, into the ground. But if these piles were exposed to the air, they began to rot, and the buildings they supported sank and shifted. Today, water levels in and around the city are carefully controlled to minimize rotting. When new piles are needed, they're made of concrete. Still, you'll see many a house with a sideways tilt.
The Montalbanstoren was a place where sailors gathered before setting out to sea. The journeys were long and difficult, and not everyone returned. Legend has it that the women who loved them also came here to say goodbye, perhaps forever.
We are now on the Oude or Outer Trench Canal. During the 16th century, it served as a defense canal. All the city's canals served one or more of these functions, as a transportation route, a line of defense, or a way to manage water levels. The Oude, because of its size and location, did all of these. Because it was one of the only canals wide enough for large ships to sail, and because of its proximity to the harbor, the Oude became a convenient place to unload cargo.
Yo lo quería hacer en mi casa.
Şöyle bir şey var. Mesela gemide yerde kiralayabiliyorsun değil mi? Gemi sen oraya evinde böyle bir çiğe getiriyor. Aşağıdan çıkıyor. Tamam.
We're about to pass through one of the city's old locks. The small, tippy black building was once the lockmaster's house. It's now a pub and cafe full of 17th century charm, stone floors, wooden benches, and exposed ceiling beams. Its outdoor patio is a great place for watching boats on the canal. Is to operate and is now known as the largest flea market in the Netherlands.
Bak burada her şey var bak. Mont.
Commodore. Torbekel.
Geldik gideli ilk defa böyle oldu değil mi? GoPro'nun şeyinin satıldığı yer nereyse bataryasını falan alacağım. Bayrağı. Şu geminin bayrağına bak. Hani? Ha. Ne o? LGBT bayrağı.
We're now on the Amstel River. The round, white-faced building you see next to the City Hall is the Music Theater, or Music Theater. It's home to the Dutch Opera, known for its daring productions, the Holland Sinfonia, and the world-renowned Dutch National Ballet. The Dutch may be known for their tolerant attitudes, but they also have strong opinions. This piece of architecture was met with heavy protests that have since simmered down. In fact, that's how it got its name, Stopera. It's derived from the movement against the construction, Stop the Opera.
Naar Artes, zullen we sturen? Transmissie klaar.
Amsterdam LGBT Festivali yazıyor.
The Magere Brug, otherwise referred to as the famous Skinny Bridge, stretches all the way across the Amstel River. Of Amsterdam's 1,500 or so bridges, this is the most famous. It dates back to the 17th century and was likely a narrow footbridge. Since then, it's been reconstructed more than once and grown wider with age. Legend has it that whoever you kiss while passing under the bridge will be your true love for life.
We're now on Herengracht, or the Gentleman's Canal. It was part of a careful plan to expand the city. In the early 17th century, a time of tremendous physical and economic growth, 3 new canals were laid out in concentric rings. The Herengracht was innermost. The Keizersgracht, or Emperor's Canal, was in the middle, followed by the Prinsengracht, or the Prince's Canal.
The wealthiest citizens, shipbuilders, merchants, investors, and politicians built elegant mansions on the Herengracht. The Keizersgracht was solidly middle class, while the Prinsengracht had a more industrial atmosphere. Of the three canals, the Prinsengracht was the only one that connected directly to the harbor, and its low sides were designed for loading and unloading cargo.
And so, the farther you lived from the city center, the lower your social class. Today, this would no longer hold true. All of the city center is expensive.
Don't touch my leg. Okay. Are you okay? Sorry. Thank you. My hands. Very, very nice.
Arabayla buraya çektim işte. İnince
Bunun şeyini şey yaptım.
onun şeyini şey yaptım buraya.
Kerem sıcaklaması için, soğuklaması için benim taktiğim.
O geçecek ince. Memeyi şey.
Get your camera ready. We're about to pass by one of the most photographed views in Amsterdam, the 7 arched bridges over Reguliersgracht, or Reguliers Canal. This beautiful and unique view of all 7 bridges at once can only be seen from here, on waters of the Herengracht. Our kind captain will be slowing down to give everyone a chance to catch a photo of this unique sight.
Bir sürü var lan.
Ja hoor, en hij komt de bak aan het bocht.
Heb je staan?
Geef er iemand uit de reguliers in de bocht gaat, toch?
While nobles ruled elsewhere in Europe, here in Amsterdam, it was the self-made merchants. During the 17th century, they were earning as much as 700,000 euros. That's more than the average rich person earns today. The wealthiest of the wealthy lived here, on the Herengracht.
Today, almost all of these mansions are used for business, as people can no longer afford to live in them. An exception is the city's mayor, whose official residence is at number 502 Herengracht. Look for the great facade with white columns just before the bridge.
The golden age of the 17th century was a stellar time for Amsterdam. From politics and the economy to arts and science, everything flourished. And the city was now the most important trade center in Europe. There are many reasons for Amsterdam's astounding success. It had the largest and most progressive shipbuilding industry in Europe. Dutch traders sailed farther than anyone else to newly discovered lands in the Far East and to North and South America. They organized into companies like the Dutch East Indian Company and the Dutch West Indian Company. and the profits from trading staples like grain and exotics such as spices, porcelain, precious stones, and textiles were enormous.
Now let's slip back in time to the 17th century. Imagine a colorful scene. Gentlemen in fine clothing on the street, speaking different languages. Elegantly outfitted ladies stepping down into horse-pulled carriages. The clatter of wheels on cobblestone. And dare we mention it?
Dönerci gördüm. Bu döner
Unpleasant waft
yazıyor.
of sewage coming from the canal.
Haydi dedim. Can I have a one bag please?
Building restrictions limited houses to a width of no more than 6 meters or 18 feet. But those who could afford got around this by buying 2 adjacent lots and building a double house. Some of these double homes even had 2 different facades. There was no restriction on depth, and with 20 to 40 rooms, a large private garden, and a coach house behind that, mansions often stretched all the way over to the next street.
We're now at the so-called Golden Bend of the Herrengracht, the most lavish section of all. Imagine going into one of these sumptuous homes. On the first floor, an elegant entrance hall with marble floors, high ceilings, and chandeliers. Mirrors were strategically positioned to create an illusion of even more space. And single-lot houses would often have a fake door on the side of the entryway to make them appear bigger than they were.
Rooms were richly decorated with painted wallpaper, oil paintings, fine sculptures, and exotics such as Turkish rugs and Persian silks. In the second half of the 17th century, Parisian furniture, Louis XVI style, was very much in vogue.
As a gentleman, you might join your host in a deep-colored smoking room. A lady, your hostess would receive you in a light blue salon or tea room. Here, you'd sip imported tea from China while looking out over a beautifully manicured garden. Musical concerts and grand parties were common, and each house had many rooms dedicated to entertaining. For a first-hand glimpse of life inside an opulent canal house, there are 2 wonderful museums in the area, the Hilvink in Lopenhaus and the Willet Holthausen.
Yo aquí me compraría unos cascos Pablo. Sobre por aquí en el canal. Tú no sabes cuántas veces se me han caído los buenos. No te haces una idea, tío. Tercer piso.
Burada biz maçı izleyeceğiz. Türkiye'de başlayacağız.
Ja, achter die gigantische blijven we.
Jullie luisteren die bovenuit de heerlijke lights in.
Ja, dankjewel man, topper. Tot bij kant op. Ja, best wel. Volwater. Ga ik niks mee hoor. Ik hoop dat je niet bij gaat. Ja, voor de eerste keer een gevaar.
Stroomboot wil je graag tussen ons op het plan monteren of?
Ja, het is uit het bootje.
The Dutch are known for leaving their curtains open, as if to say they have nothing to hide. This is especially noticeable at night, when many of the canal houses are lit up from the inside. To experience another side of Amsterdam, consider taking an evening cruise. You can choose from several options, including our tasty pizza cruise. Ask our staff for more information.
A ver, voy a hacer lo siguiente. Giro automático.
This is the Keizersgracht, or Emperor's Canal, named after the Austrian Emperor Maximilian. Of the three main canals dug during the city's expansion, the Keizersgracht is the widest. To orient yourself, picture the Herengracht, or Gentleman's Canal, to our right, and the Prinsengracht, or Prince's Canal, to our left. There are many coach houses on the right. They belong to the mansions over on the Herengracht. Their large doors, big enough for a horse and carriage, make them easy to spot.
İnsan gelince haber ver, tamam mı? Kerem. Kerem.
Hep balanslara yatkılı insanlar var. Gelmişler akşama da gezecekler. Akşam da maça gidecek.
Ahí lo hemos visto lo de la carretera.
If you visited this neighborhood 400 years ago, the streets would have been overrun with poor working-class people. You'd have to step around open sewers and steel yourself against the nasty smells of dead animals and the tanning business that hung heavy in the air. Many tanneries set up shop here, and some of the street names reflect this animal-based industry. You can find a bear street, a deer street, and even a skin street. In general, though, it was the cow, and sometimes the goat or hare, whose skins were tanned, and these were used to make shoes, saddles, and many other items. Today, you get to experience something very different. The streets are now lined with cute little shops and fancy restaurants, and the air is fresh and appealing.
Aile kasabı değil mi? Bizim jantlar zehirliyor ya. Abi böyle niye koydun arabayı?
3-4 tane bıraktık ya.
Aklından mı çıkarttık?
59 bıraktık.
Yavruya bak, yavruya ne yapacağım?
And it started to leak. When de Keyser's two sons took over the project, they decided to finish it with a lighter building material, wood. At the top of the tower is a blue crown, a gift from the Emperor Maximilian I of Austria to the city for its coat of arms.
Buraymış Maximilian dediği yer herhalde.
One last thing about the Westerkerk. This was where the famous artist Rembrandt was buried, in an unmarked grave.
Jullie luisteren op elkaar, je gaat al even zo.
25-30 dakika olmadı mı ya?
Neydi?
40 dakika oldu herhalde. 36-37 değil. Hı?
Baktım sarıyorlar.
Ne memleket. Aa Maximilian diyor bak Western. Dam baraj demekmiş.
Now that there are house numbers, look for Kaisersgracht number 123, also known as the House with the Heads. This beautiful Amsterdam Renaissance-style building of brick and sandstone is decorated with 6 beautifully sculpted heads. They're said to represent the Greek gods Apollo, Mars, Ceres, Minerva, Bacchus, and Diana. But legend has it that they symbolize. We are now on the Singel, passing through locks that were originally built to regulate Amsterdam's water levels and to keep the city from flooding at high tide. Nowadays, locks and dams further out have closed Amsterdam's harbor off from the North Sea, and city residents don't have to worry about tides. Instead, the locks are used to flush water through the canals, keeping them clean. Amsterdam replaces the gate every 50 years or so. If you look closely, you might find that these gates were left parking area to convert converted ferry filled to capacity with bikes. More people bike than drive to work, and it's estimated that the city has around 1.6 million bikes. That's more bikes than people. In typical Dutch style, the bikes are very practical. Single-speed coasters with foot brakes, sometimes with a crate in front for carrying everything under the sun, including children. In Amsterdam, expect to see everyone from the sophisticated business executive to the harried mother of three, humping away on a two-wheeler.
Central Station, the transportation hub of Amsterdam, is built on 3 artificial islands and is supported by around 8,600 wooden piles. The building was designed by 2 architects, Kuipers and Van Vliet, and its front is really quite amazing. Made of red brick and white accents, it's a combination of neo-Renaissance style and neo-Gothic towers, and is called eclectical architecture.
Coming full circle, we're now approaching Domburg, the original mouth of the Amstel, and nearing the end of our cruise. It's here, where the Amstel once led the way, that a few peasants had dreams of building a version to spawn this great city. Clearly, their ingenuity and hard work have paid off. That first dam across the river started a series of events that's led to the incredibly unique and picturesque Amsterdam we're able to enjoy today.
Rest also wat maken we goed. So ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are back at the central station, place where we started, place where we finished. I hope you enjoyed the cruise, I hope you enjoyed the city of Amsterdam. When you leave the boat, check out your personal belongings, don't leave anything behind, cameras, telephones, umbrellas, children, husbands, boyfriends. Take everything with you. If you have garbage, please take the garbage with you outside the boat, drop it in the garbage bin on the mooring place. I thank you for that. And for the rest, I wish you a very nice time in Amsterdam and enjoy.
Evet, geri başlangıç noktasına döndük. Yanaşınca ineceğiz. Çok güzel bir turdu. Herkese tavsiye ediyorum.
Hani gurbetçiler bizi izlemeye gelmiş diye telefon söyleme. Bize de söyleme.
Aynen, şu su içiyorsanız için. Ben içmiyorum.
Zet ik maar een hoedje gehouden, allemaal mooi gehouden. Goed jongens, hier vanaf. Wees ten 43, ga jij even niet naast je toon gaan liggen alsjeblieft? Dat ga ik ook doen. Wat een aarde nou.
Thank you.
Ja, kan.
Evet, bu tur bu şekilde arkadaşlar. Amsterdam'a geldiğiniz zaman mutlaka binmenizi tavsiye ediyoruz. Sıcacık bir gezi oluyor şu botla. Kapı kilitli. See you. Evet, bu şekilde. Amsterdam çok güzel arkadaşlar. Hava da bugün çok güzeldi. Ve çok eski yapılar var, otantik. Evet değerli arkadaşlar, bu videomda bu kadar. Bir sonraki videoda görüşmek üzere. Kendinize iyi bakın.